We're diving into the practical side of exploration, safety. This video was sparked from my previous video all about safety here in Ecuador. I thought it would be helpful if I could share a few tips that I follow when I am maneuvering not only around Quito and Ecuador, but all around the world. First up, my golden rule, that is to maintain situational awareness. I want to really emphasize that yes, be situationally aware in those busy areas, but be aware everywhere that you are walking and traveling and maneuvering. And situational awareness is just keeping your wits about you, staying alert, and trusting your instincts, trusting your gut. So if something feels off or you feel a little uneasy about the place that you're in or the experience that you are currently a part of, definitely take a beat and try to reevaluate some things to get yourself out of that situation or figure out ways that you can feel a little safer. Now let's talk about your gear. I personally don't like to carry a lot of things in general when I travel, and so my advice to you, especially when it comes to safety, is pack smart but also pack light. Only carry your essentials in your bags and purses, because the less that you have, less risks there are for your things to be stolen. When we traveled to Portugal, we were told that pickpockets were everywhere in the city center, but it's such a calm and light kind of city that we didn't really believe this was the case until the trolley that we were on had a pickpocket and he was going around and swiping things left and right and people were not paying attention. I share that story, one, because I really want to emphasize that even though this video is primarily about my time here in Ecuador, I have been all around the world and been in situations where, yes, I have felt unsafe. I've used a lot of these tips and tricks to maintain my own safety and, again, keep me in control of my situation. Leave all of the unnecessary things behind, if that is in your hotel room or in a safe or whatever that looks like. Just don't carry it all, because if something does in fact happen to your things, at least you didn't bring everything with you and you still have an option to hopefully get back to where you need to go safely and without as much hassle as if somebody took everything that you owned. And that leads me to my next point, which is money, because it matters. And with that sentiment, don't carry all of your cash, all of your cards on you at one time. I myself like to split things up, so I might have some money in my pocket, some money in another pocket, some money in my bag, some money at the bottom of my backpack. It just depends on how many little crevices I can find to put money in. But imagine if something were to happen to me and somebody wanted all of my money and it was all literally in one wallet, then I'm giving all of it away, because to be honest with you, just give your stuff, because you don't want to be in an altercation where the situation becomes even more unsafe. You are more valuable than what you have on hand, but you have to be smart about these things. And that's why I also recommend that you lower your credit card limit as well, because if thieves do in fact take your card and end up going on a shopping spree, if you have a higher limit, that could put you at a greater risk with your bank. But if your limit is low, there is less money for the thieves to spend. Being fashion forward is excellent. Your girl likes a good fit every once in a while, but I actually like wearing just basic clothing when I travel, unless I'm traveling to a destination or a location that requires a little bit more luxury. But my advice is this: if you are exploring unknown territories, definitely tone it down. Avoid flashy clothing and jewelry and just excessive things that would draw attention to you, especially the attention of you being a tourist. And honestly, when you're doing that, you are blending in more with the locals and the environment that you are traveling to, and I think that that has never been more stylish. You're gonna want to get to where you're going in the safest and smartest way possible, and that includes avoiding constant phone checking or even being sly with how you do it. So the way that I like to do it, especially if I'm traveling alone, I'll usually just have a headphone in. I'm still old school. My headphone has the wire, so I'm not even inconspicuous. Honestly, if you have AirPods, it's probably even better. But I will have my map going in my ear, and you might think I'm listening to something, but I don't even have the map turned up to the highest level, because I still want to be situationally aware, like we talked about in that first point. And I obviously don't want to draw more attention to myself by looking like I'm super distracted. So one headphone in my ear helps so that I can hear the navigation and I can keep going on my regular route. If you still need to check things off on your phone, just again, be aware of what is around you, who is around you, so that it doesn't get swiped. I love traveling at night and visiting different destinations in the countries I'm visiting at night as well, because there is beauty and magic during the nighttime hours. However, in certain places, I do not recommend that you go out at night unless you are going out with somebody else or unless you are really aware of your surroundings. I think that incorporating a buddy system when you are going out at night is really important. I feel like there are safety in numbers. You're not as much of a target when you are with one or more people, and it honestly just helps keep you safe and probably gives you peace of mind as well. And with being out at night, you want to make sure that you stick to well-lit places. I'm trying to think of the last time I went out at night. It was to one of my favorite restaurants actually, and I did feel very safe. It's here in Quito, but I felt safe because of how I got there. It was also very well lit, and I was meeting up with a friend as well. So all of these different characteristics of my night really helped me have a better experience. And going back to those well-lit streets, you want to make sure that you're avoiding shortcuts and different things like that as well. You just don't want to be in any sticky situations. And honestly, these tips that I'm sharing, very universal for men and women, but I am really just talking to my ladies out here right now. You want to make sure that you are being very smart about where you're going, what the place is gonna look like. And you can find these things out by going on Instagram and looking at pictures and Google Maps and looking at the map view and different things like that. We've already glossed over the phone situation, but I'm gonna dive a little deeper because honestly, phones seem to be the main things taken, stolen, swiped in major cities, especially because this is what people usually look like. You're looking at your phone, a bike goes by and swipe, your phone is gone. So you have to be really, really careful and really, really mindful of what you're doing with your phone and what you look like using your phone, because you could be a target. These things are not cheap anymore and they go for a pretty penny if taken. And so if you do need to use your phone, step into a more public venue. Again, be situationally aware, know who is around and if people are watching what you're doing. I don't recommend that you walk and you talk and you are just aimlessly moving about with your phone while on your phone, because again, you look like a target. You showcase your phone to potential opportunists. So let's talk tech. You don't want to tie your banking information with your biometric data. One, because it's just way too easy to get into these apps. If all you have to do is do this with your face, then you're into all of your money through your banking app. That is an easy way for other people to gain access to your information as well. Having more steps to getting into your accounts and different things will help keep your data a lot safer, because that's an extra layer of protection when you are doing things with sensitive information. Lastly, transportation. I personally like using rideshare apps like Uber because they come with a lot of security features that help keep me safe. I especially like just being able to trace my route on the map while the driver is doing so as well. I recently took an Uber to the airport and the driver missed his stop. And you know, not saying that I didn't trust him, I didn't know him, but I was able to let him know that, hey, I know that you missed your stop, so I also see that you're going quite a ways away to maybe turn around. But it was important for me to let that person know that I can see what you're doing, so that they know that if anything were to happen to me, that I have different security measures that I am planning on using so that I could stay safe. So there you have it, your essential guide to navigating safety here in Ecuador and beyond. Again, these tips and tricks are not solely just for those of you traveling to Ecuador and myself and others living here in Ecuador. They are so universal and will help you in any type of situation you find yourself in where you'll need a little bit more security and control over your experiences and travels. Your safety is priority number one, so be smart about what you're doing and stay safe.